I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter if you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you're the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you like me, my YouTube videos, whether you give me thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, or my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter if you're dark-skinned or light-skinned. Greet all of you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Today happened to be February the 23rd, 2020, Sunday. It's about 12:55 a.m. or midnight here in Charleston, Missouri. Today, this month, people said that they celebrating Black History Month. As I told you all before, me and my household celebrate Black History 365 days a year, 366 every leap year. 2020, the year of the vision, it's a leap year this year, 29 days instead of 28 days in February. If you look at this picture here, that you're seeing, the one here to my left, the one here to my right, same person, my mother's mother. Today, she would have been 113 years old. She was born February the 23rd, 1907. My grandmother, Mary Wallace, she was a soldier of God's. She raised 5 children. My mother was born in Forest City, Arkansas. When she was young, my grandmother moved her to Bell City, Missouri. In 48, my mother and my dad, after my dad got out of the war in 47, World War II in 47, him and my mother didn't no longer want to live in southeast Missouri. My dad from Charleston and my mother grew up in Bell City, Sykes in Missouri. And they didn't want to live here. They didn't want to raise their children. Both of them experienced so much racism here in the Boot Heel in southeast Missouri that they said that they wanted to go up north to live another life. And my grandmother, in 1967, my mother came from Chicago after she had had 9 children and got her mother because my grandmother's mother, which is my great-grandmother, Annie Shepherd, she was partially blind, but she was taking care of my grandmother here, Mary Wallace, because Mary Wallace had went totally blind. And my mother came up, brought her mother, and her mother lived with us from 1967 until she passed away in 1992. But I was, 9 years old in 1967 when my grandmother came up. But she told us a whole bunch of stories about this South, about this Boot Heel. She told us what to be careful about when you traveling down south. And she admitted that all white people wasn't racist, but they experienced a whole lot. My grandmother just didn't want to move up north. But all of my mother brothers and sisters, my mother had 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and all of them moved from the south to the north. And I just want to say, I thank God for the knowledge that my grandmother gave me about this South, which I'm experiencing now here in Charleston, Missouri. And I handed it down to my 2 young daughters, but they experiencing it themselves. You would think from the 20s or back in 1907 to 2020, there would be a big change on racism, but it's not. All you have to do is take a visit down here to Charleston, Missouri, and it's not all white people. But you will see something that you would say, this can't be real. Anytime I'm going into a store, an establishment, like the Family Dollar store here in Charleston, Missouri, on October the 23rd, 2019, standing behind the counter with another black person waiting to be waited on, when there's a white employee behind the counter on her phone by the name of Teresa Danielle Carr, that's C-A-R-R. Act as if we're not there. Then when a white man come in looking for a floodlight, she go from behind the counter and go back to the back with him. Stay for a while. He come out, no floodlight. She don't come back. I left out. I reported it to 2 managers. One of them, I give it to him, a white manager by the name of Richard, who was a smart man. I'm going to tell you why he's a smart man, because he quit Family Dollar and went to Dollar General in Sikeston, Missouri. But he went back there and looked at the camera and let his manager know, I don't know how far it left from there, but let his manager know she was wrong and she should have been dismissed. That's racial discrimination. But nothing was done to her. But like I said, Richard was smart and he quit. Then on February the 13th, 2020, my 2 young daughters, 13 and 14 years old, went in the same establishment, and this same female, Teresa Danielle Carr, C-A-R-R, ask my 13-year-old, is that a wig on your head? My young daughter said, yeah. That's the Family Dollar is 601 Main Street in Charleston, Missouri, store number 9411. But see, what she done, it don't just reflect on store 9411. It reflects on the whole Family Dollar Incorporation. Because they sweeping stuff under the rug. Or they think they are, not with me. But then the female told my young baby that she know that she don't supposed to be in the store because her and her mother been coming in there stealing. But if you look at my videos, I got a divorce August the 22nd, 2008, almost 12 years ago. Never been married again, don't have a mate, been raising my 2 13 and 14-year-old daughters by myself. That makes Teresa Carr a lie. They don't have a mother or a stepmother. But long story short, one thing my grandmother told me, when you know you right, you stand your grounds. That's why she didn't leave Bell City, Sikeston, Missouri, until my mother came and got her. She said she wasn't going to let white supremacists or nobody else run her out. She said, this is God's world. This is not man, a certain man. But let me tell you, Family Dollar, I took heed to what my grandmother said. And on Monday, I will be going to the Missouri Human Rights Commission. And if I have to, I will get an attorney. Y'all will not sweep this up under the rug. Grandma, I'm going to do this for you. Rest in peace. Get a focus close up on my grandmother. Matter of fact, Mary Wallace is Indian and black. 1492, Christopher Columbus came over here, killing up Indians and raping them. 1619, Europeans came over here, went over to Africa, brought some black people back on the Mayflower as slaves. When is this going to stop? It ain't stopped here in Charleston, Missouri yet. Peace be still.